On the first week of last month, this past February, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the progressive, liberal, and the Democratic representative, introduced on the House floor a resolution called the Green Deal, a resolution whose main focus is climate change. This Green Deal introduces an overly ambitious plan to turn the United States into a climate or environment-friendly government and economy in the span of 10 years. Fossil fuel utilities and machines are to be transformed into ones dependent on clean energy like solar power or wind turbines. Means of transportation are to go fully electric, and even ones that are completely dependent on fossil fuels like air transportation replaced by other green energy vehicles and routes whenever possible. This resolution openly admits and fully embraces that such a huge overhaul of dependence on energy, transferring it from fossil fuel-based into clean energy, would devastate industries and cause wide unemployment in many sectors, in addition, of course, to a humongous financial expenses. Some estimated it to be in the range of, or even greater than, $93 trillion. But it also promised, this New Deal, to open new venues and create new job opportunities. But this Green Deal doesn't just engage with climate, because deeply insinuated within the resolution are many aspects and notions of progressive democratic pledges that have nothing to do with climate change, for example, provisions about universal health care. But it should be mentioned that the Green Deal that was introduced by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was just a resolution, not a bill. That is, it won't come with new laws or suggest any government action. It's just a notion that progressive liberals within the Democratic Party are pushing their own party and the country as well, pushing the rhetoric into accepting and embracing climate change as a legitimate and an urgent topic. As soon as the deal was introduced by Ocasio-Cortez, it was quickly supported by many Democratic figures, even presidential candidates like Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, and Elizabeth Warren. Even a number of centrists within the Democratic Party and establishment figures fully backed the resolution. Till one misfortune happened. When Ocasio-Cortez's office released the press release to the press, a number of points, not originally in the deal presented in the House, some points that were obviously to remain in the draft form, were leaked. And primary among those new points was some suggestion of governmental support, welfare support for the unemployed, and those unwilling to work. And of course, it was here that the Republicans went for the kill. They attacked the Democratic progressives, aiming to push a split into the heart of the Democratic Party. They even pushed for the resolution to be voted upon. They wanted to push a splint within the Democratic Party to show that they themselves would be divided on the vote, given that it now has what looks like socialist elements. Mitch McConnell, the senator who is the Senate Majority Leader, attacked the bill viciously, claimed it's socialist, and even Donald Trump had his own share, ridiculing and making fun of it. Democratic centrists now, especially old establishment, sprang away from any association with the Green Deal. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, neglected its mention, while others, like Dianne Feinstein, the Democratic senator, even winced away from it in public, calling it untenable and difficult to accomplish. Still, leadership in the Democratic Party couldn't ignore the signals, the great enthusiasm for the climate change politics within its own grassroots and supporters. Chuck Schumer, the Democratic minority leader in the Senate, who is a very clever politician who belongs to the establishment Democrats, was quick to act in a way surprisingly uncharacteristic of his experience, ideology, and age. He gave a speech in which he fully embraced the Green Deal, while smartly brushing aside its most controversial parts. That is, of course, the social and economic portions that might be interpreted as socialist, which is, of course, a term that's still frowned upon even in the midst of Democrats. These days, there is no more active talk about the Green Deal, given what's been happening in the US politics after Michael Cohen's testimony and the controversy regarding Ilhan Omar. But still, climate change seems to have finally entered forcefully into the American political sphere.